Hi people, Angelina, Sparkling Diva, back with another pick a card reading, and this one is on the full moon, what energies you can expect or feelings, etc. And we're also gonna look at the what you can harvest with the autumn equinox, the Mabon, which is the day after full moon, the 22nd. So we have full moon in Pisces. Pisces is a very sensitive, intuitive sign, right? That can be, yeah, well, whatever. If you want to know more about that, you can look it up online and maybe you already know. I have three choices. I put one card in from each set. And then we have for the numbers one, blue appetite. For the numbers two is red jasper. And for the numbers three, this is amazonite. So please make your choice. Just feel, and nothing really can go wrong, right? The worst that can happen is that the stack doesn't resonate with you. And I'm gonna start the reading. Right, numbers one, the people who chose the blue appetite. Three cards to begin with. There's more to come, right? So don't don't leave prematurely. Seven of Swords. We have the Three of Wands, and then we have the Death card. It can be that now, with the full moon energies building up, you feel like running off, and in a bit of a yeah, for want of a better word, sneaky way, right? It's yeah, you can see that here. You can clearly see that, and the fox is usually used to depict the same thing, to just be secretive as well, or sneaking off or whatever, cunning, that kind of stuff. But this is not good. You may want to leave a situation or whatever it is for you. Can be big, can be small, can leave a job, a friendship, leave that behind, or a relationship, whatever. Or just have that feeling that you want to just go, run away, and get out of here, right? And but if you do that, it's gonna stab you in the back later on, because you can't even take everything with you, and that means there's two swords left behind, and these might come back when you're not expecting it, and then hit you in the back. So it's not smart to do this at this moment, but you still feel that way. We see here as well, looking out at that ship, and I feel it's coming towards. Now, I'm not into sailing or anything. I think the way the sails are going, the wind is indeed blowing it in the direction of that person. So it's like wanting to leave, secretive, without telling anyone or something like that, right? And then really leaving, waiting for that ship to arrive, getting on the boat, and just buggering off, kind of thing. And it doesn't have to be literal. It can be, or it can be the longing to literally have that opportunity or do that. But this ship here looks wonderful and strong and solid, but it's actually like a pirate ship, a ghost ship. It's almost like, and this is not supposed to be a ship, but that's the first thing it reminded me of for this reading. Almost like in Pirates of the Caribbean, only worse. Really, a ghost ship. It's not really gonna do you any good at this moment to do this. And so it's best to just stay where you are, to not do that. And let's see what two more cards I have for you. We have the Eight of Cups. Is what will come then is this. We have the Eight of Cups and the Hermit card. And here again we see the leaving, wanting to leave a situation behind because it's not fulfilling. So it's pretty much similar to the feeling here. So there might be a situation in your life that you that you want to get away from because it's not enough anymore. Whatever that is, it can even be just your own lifestyle, right? It doesn't have to be like a relationship. Oh, or a job or anything like that. It can be just a specific way of living, of thinking, etc. But now, yeah, you're leaving in a much more coherent way. It's not secretive. It's not sneaking off. It has more of a sense that you have clarity and you really know what you're doing. Also, because of the hermit, it's you're shining your inner light, your guiding light on the path, on your path, to light it, and you have wisdom. And now you know where you're going. And this staff stands for strength and support. So you have that here too, right? So there might indeed be, even after the full moon, a tendency to seek more, to have more in whatever, to get more fulfillment, right? But then after the full moon, you're going to be much calmer and more collected and coherent about it. So you'll not end up in this situation anymore either, right? That will be gone then. So it's better to just wait a little bit if this resonates with you, of course. And then we have two archangel cards for you, also related to this full moon. And one is a seraphim, even seraphim, Seraphiel. The seraphim are very high up. They're even above Archangel Metatron, who is the highest in the hierarchy. And above Archangel Metatron are the seraphim, and they are basically the bridge to source, to the divine. And there are several seraphim, and this is one of them. And we have Archangel Christiel. Now, I will have to quickly look up, because I do not know by heart everything. This one is connect with unicorns, receive the white ascension flame, and I think that is related to the causal chakra then. I'm not certain, because that's where the unicorns are connected with as well. Yeah, let's see. Archangel Christiel has recently entered this universe to help us. He is pure white, as you can see in the card as well, really beautiful. And he comes through the the diamond white cross-shaped stargate of Lyra, and that's why the unicorns are there, because the unicorns come through that same stargate as well of Lyra, and behind which unicorns wait for us, right? So the unicorns come from there as well through that stargate. He also accesses humanity through the moon. So it's beautiful that that comes up right now with the full moon energies. He is in the charge of the development of the causal chakras of humanity. And that's what I was thinking. That's why I wanted to look it up. Because the causal chakra is basically our own personal moon. And during full moon, or in the build-up of the energies of the full moon, the causal chakra expands. The causal chakra is basically right above your crown chakra. Not like an arm length or something, no, actually right above it. And Archangel Haniel is also in the charge of that chakra, but Archangel Christiel as well. And so you can call on him if you are troubled at the moment, you need more clarity, or feel that you need more assistance. And also the unicorns, of course, you can also call on them. Let's see, and then we go to Seraphiel. That's also always a bit. There we are. Seraphisa, Serafina, Seraphiel. He's a 12th dimensional angel who shimmers with many colors, predominantly blue, and is considered to carry a masculine energy, though in truth, his masculine and feminine aspects are in perfect equilibrium. Well, that's what you get in a way when you are truly empowered in the masculine and feminine energies. Seraphiel, Archangel Seraphiel, or the Seraphim Seraphiel, is able to illuminate us and pour downloads of golden blue light containing information, knowledge, and wisdom into our minds. His light automatically brings about healing on every level. When he comes to you, he's inviting you to step up your light. Imagine what your life would be like if you opened your heart completely. Then act as if it is fully open. And when you do so, Seraphiel will bring you inner peace, happiness, healing, abundance, and love. This card is also a call for you, and that's what I feel is actually the message for this reading, to tune in to your higher self and listen to your divine will. That's what I feel is the message for this reading with the hermit, right? Hermit is doing that. He's tuning in to his higher self, to his soul, his inner being, and so on. So he can follow his true path, his true north. So he can help you with that as well, to bring you that. Okay, now let's look at what you can harvest with the Mabon, with the autumn equinox. And we have the Five of Swords, the Strength card, the Ten of Swords, and I have two more. I'll put them in a moment. Now here, this is interesting. I have to get back to the other cards. Here you see Five of Swords. There's been a battle, and you won it. There is no feeling of, yeah, I won this way, that kind of stuff. You don't feel that way. It has been a battle that needed to be fought, and basically kind of like standing your ground, and so you can move forward after that. This is funny because this came up in my last reading on the soul thing as well from last week. But the funny thing is here too, it's not funny, it's peculiar. Here we have a man sneaking off with 5 swords, and here we have you standing here with 5 swords that you now fought for and won. Nothing sneaky about it. You stood up for yourself, and now you got it. Now you done it, right? So not sneaking off. This and so it comes back to you later on, stabs you in the back. No, this was fair. This was a fair fight, and you will be able to the harvesting, right, that we are talking about here is harvest from this entire year, right, from what you have sown earlier on in the year and then taken care of, hopefully, and watered and tended to, etc., etc. And now is the second harvest with Mabon, the autumn equinox. And this is not just from now or the last week or something. No, this is from the entire freaking year, right? And you can, because you've done this, you've finally done that, stood up for yourself, stood your ground, made clear who you are, what you want, where, what you stand for. Now you stand in your power, in your strength, balanced, right? And yeah, beautiful energy, absolutely beautiful energy. And then we have the Ten of Swords, the Seven of Wands, and the Wheel of Fortune. The fact that you did that battle means that this is now as good as over, right? This is completion of a cycle. The Ten of Swords and the 10, well, is the last from the numbers, and then it goes back to either 0 or 1 again. So this is the ending of a cycle. This is done with, and also the conflict fighting energy, being on the defensive. You don't need that anymore because you've done this now. That's dealt with. You can leave that behind you, and because you now have see, it even just disappeared. You now have the strength on the inside. You don't have to be so defensive anymore, and because you had the courage and the guts to do this, you can now move out of that Ten of Swords and out of this defensive energy, and it's also conflict energy, right? And maybe easily arguing and all that stuff. You don't want that in your life. It's not helpful at all. It just lowers your energy, and you can just make sure you don't automatically slip back into that, because then this is going to take longer. This is ending. It's actually very close to ending. If you can see, you see these lights here. It's almost lift off from these swords, them leaving. But if you automatically, because it's routine, habit, etc., go back in this vibration of being on the defensive and argumentative and blah blah blah, then this is gonna take longer. Well, that's quite logical, right? But if you do not do that, then you can harvest that. That disappears. The Ten of Swords is going to disappear. You stand in your power. You have inner strength, and you have the Wheel of Fortune, meaning the wheel is then going to turn, and you get an entirely different vibration, a new phase in life. The wheel will turn, and you can leave all that behind. So that's beautiful. I think you've worked quite hard this year with everything that came up, especially with the Mabon thingy then, right? But anyhow, this is what I have for you. And I do hope it makes sense to you, that it resonates. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Numbers 2, the red, oops, I have to put the right stone here, red jasper people. Now this is funny because there can be 2 messages here. I'm going to give both, and then you can just feel which one resonates with you. Sometimes that happens with this set, that you get 2 things. First thing, so if one doesn't resonate, then please wait. The first one is that with the full moon, you actually feel quite good. You're managing to hold on to your own light and to joy and happiness. And there is here the wishes fulfilled card, the 9 of Cups. So you're feeling really good. And that makes you able to deal with something that's more difficult. If in your life, maybe something that is actually going on, to just put that on hold, because then we have... to finish this row off, we have the hanging man, meaning taking some time out, taking a break, looking at things from a different point of view, not being too flustered and anxious and anything, because you manage to stay in this positive, wonderful vibration and energy. So that makes it easier that whatever comes up, or whatever there is in your life that you might have to deal with, you can do that because you manage to have a different perspective. You take your time. You're not rushing this. If something happens, right, you're not going in there head over heels, and you're just waiting. That's the first message. Second message, it's quite different. It's actually quite the opposite. Is that you feel like you're on a high, and you're overindulging because of that feeling. And if then something comes up, there might actually be something you find difficult, in life that you were struggling with. Now that's why you maybe overindulge, to just forget that, not think about that. And even with a hanging man, well, it's basically like almost like the fool, right? This man. And even here, he's like, I have no care in the world. Nothing can happen, even though I'm dangling here in mid space, and I don't care. I'm safe. I'm good, and it's costing him, right? Because if you look at it, I'll turn it around so it's easier to see. He's losing money, right? It's falling out of his pocket. In some cases, some readings that might be good, but in this case, you're actually losing stuff that you shouldn't be losing because you're too over the top because of this energy here. You're overindulging. You're too. It's too much, too extreme, too. So it would be better just to pace yourself then. And let's look at the your angel cards that we have for you. We also then have that goes for both groups, right? These cards, the archangel cards, for both messages. We have Archangel Uriel, come into harmony and balance. Use your power for peace. So you can call on Archangel Uriel or his angels. He has an entire legion of angels. Ask them to help bring harmony and peace in your solar plexus, mostly because that's what Archangel Uriel is in the charge of. And also, if for the other message, the ones that were doing really well, you can also call on Archangel Uriel to expand to your harmony and your balance and your sense of peace and your power, and you can let that work via your solar plexus, which is where you communicate with the external, so to speak. And we have for you the Archangel Raphael, which is healing. We all know that. I think everyone knows that Archangel Raphael is healing, but he's also about abundance, and he is in the charge of your third eye, and so you can call on him for if you want healing, but also for abundance and enlightenment. Right? Because that's what it says here as well. See with enlightened eyes. So you can also call on him. You can use the colors of Archangel Raphael, the emerald green. For Archangel Uriel, it's golden yellow. And also ruby red is also a color of his. So you can use these colors as well to breathe them in, or it's just color therapy is so powerful. So that's for the moon, the energies. Now we're going to look at your what you can harvest, and we're going to look at those cards, what you can harvest for the autumn equinox. I'll put the cards in first. Right, well, I have 3 more cards. They don't fit in one go, and the story isn't going to be really chronological, but we're going to get through them all. What you can harvest is this, and that you can, this is 4 of Swords, 3 of Cups, and Justice card, where you can take time to rest, to recuperate, to meditate, maybe even think about things and wait for you to have clarity, and then get to a balanced state where with this, right, there's this balance, beautiful balance, where what is just, of course, to do with the justice, what is right, what's fair, what's just, but also having balance on the inside, because we have yin and yang here within the sun. And when it's time to play, to have fun, to socialize as well, and when it's time to do this, to go back and wait until you have clarity and are at peace, etc. Also, I don't know why I'm getting that. Taking care of your body, which is funny because it's swords, which is not about the physical really, is more about thoughts. But I do feel that taking care of your body, that if your body needs rest, if your body needs a break, don't push and push and try to go through anyway, because that actually slows you down. Also in the long run, it's better to then take a break, and maybe it will just be a short break, and then you can go on again, right? In the long run, that will be faster. It might feel counterintuitive to do that, to take breaks and then move on, and take a break and move on, etc. But if your body needs that, and this won't be for everyone, but I feel there is a group for whom that is applicable. Respect your body and listen to your body, and then you can reach this beautiful balance that is for everyone, between, well, socializing, play, having fun, relaxation, and being more, contemplative, etc. And you need that because this is what came before. I think you've had quite the year. We see a lot of anxiety and conflict here with the Five of Wands and the Nine of Swords. This is the stuff that can keep you awake at night even, right? But it's anxiety no matter what. Even if you do sleep well, there is anxiety, there is conflict. Can also be inner conflict, but it's stressful, it's exhausting, because there is no end to it. No one is stronger, no one is winning, no one is weaker. So it's an ongoing thing that needs to be broken. And that's why you need to be able to get into this, so you can rest and think, and then also break this conflict situation, to snap out of that, and then start looking. That's also very important. Start looking at what you did achieve, all these things that you have sown. What have you achieved? What is actually there? Right? It's very important that you manage to snap out of this. Try starting having a more positive point of view. Look at what there is, what is growing, what is expanding, what you do have, right? And then you can also even start choosing, like, okay, this one is still, these are still a bit smaller, that one's quite large, so I'm going to focus on this. Or maybe you want to focus on these first, so they grow equally fast as well. But this is far calmer. This is a slow energy. This is waiting for the growth, until you can harvest these things. Maybe with the last harvest festival of the year, with Halloween, Samhain, most of these things now aren't ready yet for harvesting. But the most important thing is that you get here in that balanced, out of that conflict and anxiety, and then into this more balanced energy where you can, have this. There is time for rest, recuperation, also physical if need be, and there is time for play and fun and joy and laughter and all that stuff. Balance. Yeah. So this is what I have for you. I do hope it resonated and that it's helpful for you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Alright, numbers 3. Oops, that's the wrong crystal. Let's put the right one there. The Amazon Light. For you, I'm starting with the angels. The Seraphim and Archangels, because I feel that's important for this reading. We have Seraphim, Seraphina, and the Seraphim are above the, I think you could say above the Archangels. They're above Archangel Metatron, who's in the charge of the Stellar Gateway Chakra, and Seraphim, Seraphina, and the other Seraphim are above that. They are basically bridge builders between that and Source. So between the stellar gateway and what Archangel Metatron does and Source. And Seraphina is like that as well, then, of course, right? And it says, so to build your bridge to Source. This speaks of you having a purpose here, a service, something on Earth, right? You have to be an ambassador for Earth. And with Archangel Dorenka, you probably never heard of him. I'd never heard of a number of angels in this deck, which is why I like it so much. Hone your psychic abilities, see through illusion. And the message of this is also to use your right hemisphere in your brain, which is the feminine energy one, and your heart. And do that more than the left hemisphere and the masculine energy and the head, etc., etc. So, and listen to your intuition and follow that so it develops and gets stronger. And it's also very important to keep your that actually came up with that card because of your high purpose and so on, to keep your frequency and your energy pure and high, but pure. And I feel that's linked because here it speaks of psychic abilities, but if these are not pure, well, that's not it's not going to be very helpful. Then it might actually even do harm, right? If you start giving the wrong advice or whatever. And we have Archangel Chamuel from the heart chakra. Open your heart to give and receive love. Your essence is love. So also, like here, the message was to open your heart. And here we have Archangel Chamuel comes up very strongly again. Now let's look at your tarot cards. Oops, I have a kitten in my lap that's about to fall off. And that usually goes along with nails, which I do not like. Anyhow, 6 of Cups, the Page of Swords, the 8 of Swords, and then we have the Ace of Cups. I actually want these Archangel cards away. So, right, that's better. The 6 of Cups. I feel with this full moon, because that's what this is all about, right? It could happen that you have things from the past, feelings, thoughts, memories, etc. come up. Because this can be nostalgic and things from the past and stuff like that. There is my cat, actually. My little Neela. And I feel for this reading, that is the meaning of this card. Memories, nostalgia, things from the past. But these are actually beautiful things. But look at his face. I actually think, well, cross the street or walk away from that guy. Even though he's just a youngster, he doesn't look very friendly. It's meaning to me for this reading. And also because of the 8 of Swords, that these memories that come up are at the moment, with the full moon, not pleasant ones. So you can have pleasant memories from the past, and of course there's also stuff in the past that happened to you as a child, at home, at school, whatever. That you didn't like so much, that wasn't so pleasant, and that's the kind of thing that seems to come up easily with this full moon. And that can be possibly not when you're busy during the day, when you're doing stuff, focusing on stuff, but when you are more relaxed, maybe in bed, when you're about to fall asleep, that all of a sudden these things pop up in your head and have you thinking, why the hell am I thinking about that? You know, that's yonks ago that happened, and I dealt with that already as well. And why does it come up? Sometimes these things happen with full moons. Well, to me anyway. and it was very unpleasant things back then, right? It made you feel trapped and whatever. But it wasn't really all that bad. because she can go away, get out of here, right? It's not really a trap. She can just get off that chain because it's not tight or anything. She can just remove the chain, then get rid of the blindfold, and then walk out of these swords. It's not really a trap or anything at all, but it feels like that. It feels like that. Now, if you do have that, then if that resonates with you, if you notice that sometimes you have these feelings, turn back to love, right? And that's why we have Archangel Chamuel as well. Love. Go in the heart, turn back to love, start thinking about positive things, even if it's memories or whatever, positive things, fun things, good things. Also because with this, the psychic abilities, seeing through illusions. This is, and Serafina saying, keep your vibration high and pure. If you allow yourself to be led by this energy and vibration, that's not pure. And that's not high vibrational at all either. So you have to deal with it. Step into love, focus on the positive, focus on happiness and what's good, and so on and so forth. Focus away from this. Use this sword to cut away these silly memories, because oftentimes I've learned that from Dr. Joe Dispenza. Oftentimes our memories are not even correct. We make stuff up. And I've noticed a number of times myself that actually is true, that I was talking to my daughter, she's 28, so she's an adult, about something in the past. And I told her, well, this, that, and the other happened, or she said something like that. And then she's saying, oh, no, that's not true. He didn't say that, you did. And look, what? For instance, that's just a stupid example. But sometimes, your memory is actually tainted. There's all these filters, right, on it, over how you were feeling at the time and how you were viewing the world at the time. I mean, when you're 6 or when you're 4, you have in a way a limited understanding of the world compared to an adult, right? But you still see these memories, you still put these memories through the filters of a young child. And that's also just an example, but that's how these memories can be completely wrong, not correct at all. So bear that in mind as well, that it's often this shit that comes up might not even be exactly the way you remember it, or not at all true, or whatever. It's tainted in this moonlight. So get out of it. Don't linger in this energy. This is also without this is also in itself a very loving, happy energy, right? The 2 kids and the cat and the beasties and the butterflies and all that stuff. It's actually a very happy energy, and that's what you have to get into. So maybe if you do have bad memories come up or things, and it can be just flashes that might put you off and get you into the wrong direction with your energy, then maybe focus on a memory from the past that was happy. And if that actually wasn't correct at all, that doesn't matter because it's a happy memory, right? Focus on love, focus on the positive, focus on the happy. Get into your heart. That is important. Now let's look at what you can harvest this Mabon, this autumn equinox. I get these cards. Oops, I don't do reversals. So if you are new to my channel and you're wondering about that all cards are upright, well, I don't do reversals. If it has to be negative or more negatively focused, the interpretation, I will feel that anyway. I find it really annoying to use reversals. Anyhow. We have, this is what you can harvest. We have the Queen of Wands, we have the World card, and we have the King of Wands as a clarifier of the World card. Right, your last three cards, what you can harvest this autumn equinox. Well, look at the cards. Aren't they beautiful? Very powerful cards. You will be able, if you want to, you have to do something for that in the sense of not like jumping through hoops or something. This is ready for you. It's there for you to pick, right? It's ripe. You can have this. But you have to do something for it. Means that you can't just sit on your bum and expect it to be delivered. You have to be active, because this is a very active energy, all three of these cards. But you can feel totally you, empowered, creative. This is a creative life force. It's warm, it's passionate, it's your light is shining. Like that's this light, yeah, and it just keeps shining, and you are feeding that light. That's in a way a representation of your inner light, and you're just beautiful in your power, in you shine, you're radiant, you're really you, and that's with the World card as well. It's completion. It's the last major arcana card. Then it goes back to the Fool, and so it's a completion and the ending of a cycle, and you made it. And now you feel so good. You feel you feel yourself. You can be yourself. You are authentic. You're no longer pretending to be something you're not, or holding back, or in certain situations or with certain people kind of dimming your light or whatever. No, you're just you, strong, you, empowered. And I asked for a clarification for the World card. I can't remember why I did that actually, but it's funny that we then have the King of Wands come up. We have the Queen and the King, so we have the couple. So a power couple, but I feel that means the balance here that we see here, you have on the inside between your own feminine and masculine energies. You're truly balanced on the inside. That's why you can be like this, shine like this, and just be authentic and show yourself to the world, like, here I am, just look at me, see me. And it's just, you're not afraid anymore of what I don't know, but that just came through. You're not afraid anymore. You feel confident. And okay, you can still have a bad hair day, that's fine, right? We all have that. But in general, you feel balanced on the inside, you feel confident and ready to just go for it. If you maybe you want to manifest something, if you want or want to do something, a new project, or just whatever, live a different kind of life, more happier, or whatever it is, you're ready. You are ready. You're ready for it. So this is beautiful. You can harvest this, and like I said, it's not something that you can just wait and for that to be delivered. It is like kind of like a shift on the inside, a decision, a feeling. It comes from the inside out. It's like this urge, this desire that is so strong to be like this, to no longer dim your light, no longer pretend to be someone you're not, or whatever. It comes from the inside. It's a deep feeling, a deep craving, and then acting upon it, because we have wands, which is action. It's fiery, it's passionate, right? So, and if you don't do that, then this is going to take a little bit longer for you to get there. So that's logical. That's what I mean. You can't just wait for this to be delivered on your doorstep. You will have to have that feeling from the inside, and it needs to be strong enough for you that you're just going to do this regardless of what's going on in your life. So this is what I have for you. I do hope it resonates, and I thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.